Have you ever stood in a room full of people and felt completely invisible? Have you ever looked around and wondered, why does everyone else have friends, but I'm always alone? There is a question that haunts millions of people every single day. Is there something wrong with me? You see others laughing in groups. You see friends meeting, hugging, belonging. And you walk home alone, you eat alone. You exist, but you don't belong. And the worst part, people whisper. They say you're strange, cold, or antisocial. But what if I told you having no friends doesn't mean you're broken? It means your mind works differently, deeper, rarer. Today, I want to tell you a story about a man named Deniz. He thought he was a failure until he discovered a truth that changed everything. If you've ever felt alone in this world, this story is for you. Stay with me. Once upon a time, in a busy coastal town where the waves never stopped crashing, lived a man named Deniz. Deniz was not loud. He was not the life of the party. He did not have a large circle of people around him. Every evening, the townspeople would gather at the bright cafes by the docks, shouting, joking, and competing to be heard. But Deniz, he would walk past the noise, his eyes fixed on the horizon, and return to his quiet cottage on the cliffs. The people in the town whispered about him. He's like a ghost, they would say. He never smiles, he never joins us. Something must be broken inside him. Deniz heard them, and in the dark of night, he believed them. He would sit by his window, listening to the tide, and ask, why am I like this? Why can't I just enjoy the noise like everyone else? Why do I have no friends? His heart felt like a heavy stone, not because he was lonely, but because he felt like a mistake. One afternoon, a group of local merchants called out to him. Hey, Deniz, why do you always hide? Come, sit, drink with us. Be part of the group. Deniz hesitated. He thought, maybe they're right. Maybe if I try harder, I'll finally fit in. He sat down. He tried to laugh when they laughed. He tried to nod when they spoke. But as he sat there, a cold feeling began to grow in his chest. He noticed how they laughed with one person, then mocked them the moment they turned their back. He saw how they fought for attention, their words moving fast but saying absolutely nothing. Their laughter sounded like breaking glass, sharp and hollow. Deniz felt like he couldn't breathe. He realized that they weren't actually together. They were just afraid of being alone. He stood up quietly and walked back to the cliffs. Someone shouted, "Look at him go, he thinks he's too deep for us." But Deniz wasn't trying to be deep. He was just trying to be honest. That night, he wrote in his journal, "I would rather be empty alone than feel empty while surrounded by people." Days passed, and a great festival was held in the town square. Music filled the air. Deniz tried one last time. He walked into the crowd and joined a conversation about the latest gossip and the rising price of silk. "The weather is perfect for the ships," one said. "Yes, perfect," Deniz replied, trying to mirror them. "Did you hear about the mayor's new house?" another asked. "I did," Deniz said. He did everything right. He followed the rules of the crowd. But after only 1 hour, he felt a bone-deep exhaustion. It felt like his soul was being drained through a straw. It wasn't that he hated the people. It was that he hated the distance between them. He wanted to talk about why the ocean makes us feel small, or what we fear most when the lights go out. But in the crowd, those thoughts were unwelcome. They wanted distraction. He wanted connection. He walked home in the moonlight, and for the first time, he didn't feel ashamed. He whispered to the wind, "I don't need 1,000 people to know my name. I just need one person to know my soul." Weeks later, an old traveler named Hikmet arrived in the town. He was a man who had seen 1,000 cities. He found Deniz sitting on a rock, watching the sun dip into the sea. Hikmet sat beside him in total silence for 20 minutes. Finally, Hikmet spoke. "It's heavy, isn't it? Carrying a mind that never stops searching." Deniz was shocked. "People say I'm antisocial. They say I'm broken because I don't have friends." Hikmet laughed softly, a sound like warm earth. "You aren't broken, Deniz. You are high voltage. Some people are like small candles, they burn easily and together. But you are a lighthouse. A lighthouse doesn't join a circle of candles. It stands alone because its light is meant for something bigger. It takes a lot of energy to be that bright. That's why the crowds tire you out. You aren't weak. You are simply processing a world that others are ignoring." For the first time in his life, Deniz felt the stone in his chest begin to melt. As the months went by, Deniz stopped apologizing for who he was. He spent his time carving wood, reading the old maps of the world, and listening to the music of the waves. He realized something beautiful. He wasn't lonely, he was solitary. While the townspeople depended on each other for entertainment and gossip to feel alive, Deniz found life within himself. He didn't need a crowd to tell him he was worthy. He built a kingdom inside his own mind, full of peace and quiet strength. He no longer felt like a mistake. He felt like a masterpiece that was still being painted. One morning, a man named Ken moved into the cottage nearby. Ken was a quiet man who spent his days fixing old clocks. One day, Ken approached Deniz and asked, "Do you ever wonder if the ocean is trying to tell us something, or if it's just breathing?" Deniz looked at him and smiled. "I think it's doing both." They didn't become best friends in a day. They didn't go to loud parties together. Instead, they sat on the porch and talked about the things that truly mattered. They shared their silences as much as their words. Ken didn't try to change Deniz. He didn't ask him to be louder. He simply walked beside him. And that one friendship, that one real, honest connection was worth more than 10,000 nights of shallow laughter. Years passed. Deniz never became the most popular man in town. He never had a massive group of followers, but he had peace. The traveler, Hikmet, returned one final time and found Deniz and Ken walking along the shore. Deniz looked vibrant and full of life. "You found it," Hikmet said. Deniz nodded. "I used to think that having no friends meant I was a failure, but I was wrong. Having no friends doesn't mean you're broken. It means you are a guardian of your own peace. It means you refuse to give your heart to people who only want to play with it. It means you are brave enough to wait for the real thing. If you are watching this today and you feel like an outsider, if you feel different, quiet, or alone, hear this. You are not a failure. You are not strange. Your mind is a deep well in a world that is used to puddles. The world will try to tell you that something is wrong with you because you don't fit into their noisy boxes. But the truth is, you are just waiting for something authentic. Don't lower your standards just to feel less alone. Don't force yourself to laugh at jokes that aren't funny. Don't apologize for needing the silence. One real friendship is worth more than a million fake smiles. And remember, the strongest people often walk alone for a while. Not because they can't find company, but because they are walking a path that requires a deeper soul. If this story spoke to you, remember, you were never broken, you were just different. And different is where the magic lives. Be kind to yourself. You are exactly where you need to be.